I had a very interesting dream last night, and it's been a while since I had one of those deep, introspective dreams or one of those weird dreams. But in this dream in particular, um, I dreamed about my grandmother, and it's been a while since I actually had like a deep dream like that where I could see her face, hear her voice, and all that. And it was like one of those days, like it wasn't like the last place I was in. It was like at my grandma's last house, and my auntie coming back from the store and all that, and my grandma came and asked me to get the groceries and all that. Like I remember that, and like I had a dream about that, but it was like it was weird. It was like in the same area I was in, but it kind of got mixed with like my old area, like my old childhood neighborhood area. It was weird, but I wonder where our minds go when we dream. And later in the dream, I remember it's just I seen this cute girl that I've never seen in my entire life, and like she looked at me, she said my name, and then like held her hands out to like give me a hug, and I'm like, what the heck? And that's when I woke up. I'm like, damn, that's brutal. Not even in your dreams you can get a hug from a cute girl. Ain't that something? But I couldn't sleep, so I spent the rest of the night just doing applying, job applications and stuff. And I always wonder, man, how much emotional trauma that we have to go through where our mind starts to create worlds to try to comfort us. Our mind starts to go to different types of places and different types of avenues. It's brutal when you really think about it, truly. And I'm thinking about the last few years of my life, and it's been kind of fucked up in a way where it's just been losing this person, this person, this person, this person, being homeless, getting your channel taken away, getting doxxed by random, racists online who don't even know you, who will never even come up to you in real life. Then they still watch you and troll you. It's ridiculous. And I didn't do anything wrong but come on the internet and just speak my mind. But I get targeted, you know? It goes to show you, man. And then I can't even have privacy to go and to talk about topics I really want to talk about because I'm being watched and monitored. So it's brutal, you know? And it's one of those things where you have to be like, let me take a look back and see how the hell does poverty affect an entire nation? It's not just me, it's other people like going through it, people losing their EBT benefits. A lot of us feel that people are living paycheck to paycheck. you know There's people that work every single day and they still have trouble, paying their bills and paying their car notes and paying just that and the third, paying, little Lisa's, violin practice or whatever the hell, even though that's a luxury and that's something that's for rich people. But still, I'm just wondering, you got to think about it like this. Over the course of history, there's been thousands of generations before you came into being, before you came, like your grandparents had grandparents and they had grandparents. So you telling me out of the thousands of years we've been on this earth, none of our relatives were smart enough to build a rock in the cave, or go in the cave and put a rock door right there so that their future generations can have. None of our ancestors were smart enough to develop wealth and keep it down the family line for all these generations. And then that's when I start to think, there had to be some type of great reset in the past. There had to be something in the past which we got robbed, we got taken from our homelands, because a lot of us, we come from different types of places around the world. But even then, you know, how do we not have ancestors that had enough sense back in the caveman days or the pre-Star Wars days or the advanced civilization days? How did none of our ancestors save up any type of wealth to pass down to us in this generation? And then I thought about it, man. There probably was a great flood. There probably was a great reset. There probably was wars and stuff that displaced people. Of course that happens. It's historically documented. Look at Julius Caesar. He totally eviscerated the Gauls. Look at Alexander the Great. He freaking conquered that whole area. And a lot of people may have had wealth in those areas, but it got displaced. But I'm just thinking about us in this generation. Like, how in the hell do like the boomers and people older than us expect us to pull ourselves by our bootstraps without any type of help? Do you know how hard it is for a man to start from zero, with nothing in his pocket, no guidance, no father, no this, no that, raised by women pretty much, you know what I mean? And because a lot of black families are matriarchs, you know what I mean, meaning that it's usually women that's running things and women that, you know what I mean, that's just a lot of black families due to, you know, a myriad of things, the cocaine epidemic of the 80s, the Central Intelligence Agency, targeting, our communities and stuff like that. It goes on and on and on. And also just bad choices people make. They get depressed, they get down, or they go to this baby daddy and this baby daddy, and it's just, you know, if your enemy gives you a trap, it's not up to you to put your head in the trap and get it lopped off. But still, I just feel like a lot of us in this situation, man, if we would have had better guidance in life, we would be farther in life. I know for a fact I ain't supposed to be in this position. Homeless. I'm not even supposed to be black pill villain. That's something that came upon just accidentally, you know? I'm supposed to be, in my personal opinion, I'm supposed to be very successful in what I dreamed of. Not in this position where I'm applying for jobs all day, you know, about to be homeless again. Pretty much I'm homeless right now, pretty much, but now I'm finna get kicked out the place I'm at right now, and I don't know where the fuck I'm pretty much gonna go next. And then I gotta figure that out. And then I gotta figure out a job. You gotta get to the job, gotta get to the interview, get the clothes, then you gotta figure out how to get way back to the job every day. And it's brutal. And then it's at my age, I should already be a fucking successful, point blank period, instead of struggling about how to gain and retain money and wealth and things of that nature. But so many things happen in life. A lot of people don't understand depression. See, depression is something that's looked down upon and frowned on, where people are like, oh, you're not depressed, or you're not this or this. That. They don't understand that when you're really depressed, severely depressed, it actually recalculates your mind. There's been scientific studies and evaluations on this, where you can see somebody's mind, like you can see like their synapses in their brain change and formulate new synapses that are not good, and like it totally changes your mind when you're truly depressed, stressed, and under all this emotional turmoil. Like, I have the perfect story of a famous rapper. The problem is the rap music industry doesn't give a fuck about talent. You know what I mean? They care about who can take a 360 deal, and who can, get ravaged on camera and then keep their mouths shut. You know what I mean? Let's just be real. I know everybody heard those rumors. It's not just Diddy doing Diddy things. There's a lot of, couch things going on. I forgot what's it called? The casting couch. That's what it's called. There's a lot of casting couch opportunities in the music industry that goes on, and I'm not doing no weird stuff for a damn deal. It's just crazy. So it goes to show you, man, that this whole world is rigged. Point blank period. Because I seen some, like I say, people send me their art and their shit all the time, and I see some of the most amazing talents that you can ever like realize. I'm like, damn, this person's not famous, and they'll hit me up and be like, damn, you're not famous, man. You used to rap good as hell. It's like, how the hell did you not make it? Like, you had everything. Like, you had the voice, the talent, the flow, and all that. I'm just like, bro, my life ain't supposed to be this way where I'm struggling for money, struggling fighting my demons, struggling with, everything around me, struggling with fucking, trying to find work, struggling with trying to find housing, struggling, losing family members. Do you know the emotional turmoil it takes on losing your family back to back, people used to see every single day? Losing your grandmother, losing your uncle, losing your cousin, losing your other uncle, pretty much, losing your aunt, losing both your aunts just years apart from each other, like my main family that I seen every day, my grandmother, my uncle, my aunt I lost in 2024, and that's like right in the beginning when I began my BP channel. Pretty much, I lost my other aunt just a couple of months ago, and it's just like, what the fuck? And then now I'm pretty much homeless, and I'm facing real homelessness, meaning that it's the street. I mean, I'm already homeless now. Let's just be real. You know what I mean? Like, I don't got like, I'm pretty much fucking homeless. Let's just be real. And and then facing like your emotional demons and all of that. This is a lot to take on from one individual. And then I got people online who don't know me. They don't know, any damn thing. Like, they don't know me as a person. They don't know me, and yet they want to pick on you and try to just do little weird shit, online. And it's like, I remember what Hex Squad said. He's like, bro, control what you can control. You can't control who watches your videos. You can't control what they say about you, what they do about you. Just control what you can control, you know? And I like that. You're right. But it's like, it's weird to think that you got grown ass men out there that would take enough time and invest enough energy to dox you and fuck up your real life and then think it's a joke. But if you run into these people in real life, they're not going to say anything, you know? And it's like these people are the same people that are complaining, oh, how come Stacy and Becky's going with Darnell? Well, because Darnell's not doing dumb shit like that. You know what I mean? Darnell's not doxing people and saying racist shit online. You know, and plus Darnell got a BBC, and we already know what that means, you know? So that's why Stacy and Lacey and Lauren and Ashley is going to Darnell. You know what I mean? Darnell's not playing. Darnell is masculine. Darnell's not stalking other grown men online, doxing them. You know, Darnell's not, hey guys, you know, let's go play Dungeons and Dragons and all that bullshit. Darnell's actually doing real nigga shit. You know what I mean? You know, point blank period. You know? But I don't know, man. I just feel like this whole world is kind of rigged, man. It's kind of like I haven't slept all night, so my thoughts are incoherent, but I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? I feel like this world could be better if, like, a lot of people would just help each other a lot more, you know, and try to formulate teams with each other. Like, but that's never going to happen because it goes against the elites. It goes against the powers that be. They want us fighting with each other. They want us complaining about shit, talking about, oh yeah, if you're on snaps and you're on EBT, you're lazy, you don't want to work, and this, that, and the third. Meanwhile, you got people who, like the Queen of England, and I think that demon's still alive somewhere. They said she's gone away, but I doubt it. You know, a demon, a devil like that lives thousands of years. But the Queen of England used to make like, what was it, $100 million from Africa a day or something like that? I heard about that. She's like, the Queen of England was making millions of dollars from like her investments in Africa and different places, you know, and it's absolutely brutal. And it's crazy how in this world they tell you, oh, violence is never the answer. You know, they say that. But the United States turns around and utilizes violence everywhere it goes. You know, if you look at the United States military, you look at anything that had real change. You know, people didn't like the people who came to America. They didn't come to America and threw their hands open with nice hand gestures. They utilized violence to the fullest efficiency. They utilized violence to the fullest effectiveness. And that was very effective. Now, everything's been, it's destabilized now, but when it got stabilized, those people want to say that they're civilized. But it's interesting how you see that, you know what I mean? And everybody's going through it. You know, it don't matter what skin color configuration, but when you're my skin color configuration, bro, you start to hate yourself because everybody hates you, you know? And a lot of people don't understand that. But you can't hate yourself because the world hates you. And you can't beat yourself up because you failed at life or you failed at certain things you wanted to accomplish, you know? Because experience is everything. You have to be tough in this world. You can't be a weakling. You can't be a coward. You can't be a bastard. You can't be an asshole. I mean, you can be those things if you want, but I think it's better that you be somebody that's strong, that has mental fortitude, that has the fomentation of innovation inside your circulation. Point blank, period. You know, this whole world is rigged anyway, man, and I think this whole thing is just some type of torment chamber anyway. It's like we're not meant to be happy. We're meant to be slaves. We're meant to be punished. We're meant to be destroyed and trapped into this eternal infernal void. And I'm sick of it, man, honestly. And I don't know what to really say, man. But, you know, that this world is full of shit, point blank, period. You know? But anyway, man, I thank you guys for the true fans, you know, not fans, I hate saying fans, but the true people that like me and mess with me, that like my content, for sticking around, liking the videos, commenting, you know. You know me, I never say like, comment, and subscribe, guys. You know, I don't do that crap, bro. I just say what I gotta say and just disappear for a few hours and check back my YouTube like, you know, 7-8 hours later maybe, you know. So you leave a comment. If I don't respond right away, it means I'm trying to make a beat, you know what I mean, or something like that, or rap or something like that, or, you know, doing some reading or applying for jobs right now, man, because you know what's crazy, man, is whenever I start to do what I really want to do, that's when I get happy. You know what I mean? You know, that's one thing I noticed too, is when you do something that you really, really, really want to do, you put so much effort into it, you put so much time into it, and you get really happy. It changes your energy. Remember, if you take anything from this video, remember this, that this world works on vibrations and frequencies. Point blank, period, man. And certain frequencies evoke certain emotions inside of you. And certain frequencies and vibrations can actually change your mood, you know? But that's enough for this, man. I hope you guys have a good day, man. Stay strong, soldiers, man. And we got to stay strong in this sci-fi Stalingrad, bro. Peace.